Hey there, and welcome to Real Investment News. I'm Mike O'Neill. Well, the Labor Department released its jobs report, and when you look at the headlines, things sound pretty good. We actually added 200,000 jobs in January. Wages actually went up 2.9%. That's a 0.3% jump year over year. That's actually really good. And when you take out the unemployment numbers, 4.1%, the lowest that we haven't seen in about 17 years. But as always, there is more to the story. Now, one of the big numbers we like to look at is the labor force participation rate. This is a combination of the number of people who are either employed or actively looking for work. Now, it held steady at 62.7% in January. Now, that is up slightly from 2 years ago, but when you look back, you realize that we haven't seen a number this low since 1978. And it was at its highest at 67.3%. That was in April of 2000. Now, this number includes both of those who work full and part-time jobs. And a lot of people say, hey, well, you're not accounting for the baby boomers, the people who are retiring at a rate of thousands of people per day. Let's focus down a little bit. Let's take out the retirees and take a look at the percentage of people ages 16 to 54 who have full-time jobs. Right now, that number is right around the 50% mark. And we also marked the percentage at the end of the past few presidencies. As you can see, the highest was just over 54% as President Clinton was leaving office. And you can see during President Obama's tenure that the number actually climbed steadily after hitting 30-year lows. And if you take out those high school and college students, let's go ahead and narrow it even further. Let's just focus on those ages 25 to 54 who have full-time jobs. You can see it's a familiar curve. You still have that big climb in the late 90s and the 2000s, and then it drops. Right now, the number is hovering at the same rate that we saw in the mid-80s. And remember these lines from the State of the Union that got some big applause?
African American unemployment stands at the lowest rate ever recorded. And Hispanic American unemployment has also reached the lowest levels in history.
Well, it's good that he said that before this report, because in January, the unemployment rate for African Americans actually jumped to 7.7% from 6.8%. Now, that is the biggest month-to-month jump in more than 12 years. And for Hispanics, the number actually clicked up 0.1 of a percentage point to 5.0. And the wage growth, well, you know, this report is actually getting a little long. I don't actually have a watch, but we will be talking about that later today. But until then, thank you so very much for watching. Please remember to follow us on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. Check out our past reports at realinvestmentnews.com. I'm Mike O'Neill, and we'll see you again in a couple of hours.